Well, for more, we're joined by criminal lawyer William Julié. Thanks for being with us here on France 24.
Thanks for having me.
So, a lower court decision overturned. Your reaction?
Not easy to beat the US, and it seems that on this one, the US has won the second round. The Court of Appeal has decided that the first instance judge got it wrong when he did not want to extradite because of fears for Assange's mental health issues. And the Americans came forward with some new guarantees with what we call diplomatic assurances.
Including the ability for him to serve his time in Australia?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. The appeal court decided that Assange could be extradited under 3 conditions. These conditions were guaranteed by the US in this diplomatic or note.
And judging on precedent, would the US, you think, make good on that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 main conditions. One is that, as you just said, Assange, if he is sentenced, can serve his sentence in Australia. Number 2 is that pre-trial, he will receive medical treatment and health support if he needs it. And the first condition is also connected with him not being confined and not being sent to one of these maximum security prisons, and especially the Colorado one.
All right, so that's the conditions of detention.
Yeah,
should he be extradited?
Yeah.
Then there's the heart of the matter, which is the extradition itself. And what are your thoughts on that? Because this is U.S. intelligence that was leaked, but it's leaked by an Australian citizen outside of America. So what do you think of this?
This is all about the judicial reach of America outside of America. This is all about extraterritoriality issues and this reach that the US has with its laws to go after people abroad. And we have that on financial crime issues. We had that with the BNP. We had that with other cases. And we also have it on more non-white collar crime issues, on terrorist issues, and with Assange on this issue, which is connected with state security, say the US, and with liberty of the press, say people on the other side.
So is the US right to ask for his extradition?
Listen, I mean, legally speaking, they have regulations that enable them to do it. They issued a warrant of arrest and now requested countries, and this is UK being requested, must make their decision to figure out whether they are going to extradite or not. And first instance, they said that apart from the mental health issue, the other arguments were green light for the US, that it was not a politically motivated demand from the US, that it was not about liberty and freedom of press, but it was about a criminal offence. And this was not argued again before the Court of Appeal. So now I guess it's going to be third round before the Supreme Court.
Is it a freedom of the press issue?
Listen, I mean, I think it's a very difficult call, for sure. I mean, there is something to do with freedom of press. Otherwise, we would not have been discussing that for years. Maybe it's not only to do with that, because at one point some people said, okay, but maybe he went too far, or he didn't do things as we would have done that regarding, you know, our professional conduct book. And maybe also, I mean, it is a very special case. And I must say that I'm not absolutely sure that everything was brought forward fully transparently by the US when they argued before the Court of Appeal. The defense lawyers did bring these arguments, but things came out about the involvement of the CIA in some of the moments of this Assange storyline, and what happened in Spain with that security company, which was carrying out surveillance on the embassy in London where Assange stayed. And we also heard about plots to maybe kill Assange or kidnap him. And I think that Mike Pompeo made comments not denying completely all these issues. So, I mean, it also...
How does that make the United States look?
Listen, I mean, I consider that it's frightening. And because maybe we're talking about the USA, people are not maybe reacting as strongly as they would if we were talking about Russia or Turkey. But I mean, we are talking about similar facts, and I do think that for that reason, this case is a very, very special case. But as I said as an introduction, difficult to beat the US sometimes.
Counselor, one final question for you. You have the facts of the case, and we've been talking about them. And, you know, when you have a court case like this one, how much does personality matter? I ask because Julian Assange is somebody who's burned bridges with a lot of people who were his allies in the past. He's headstrong. He does things his own way. Nothing of what I'm saying is legal, of course.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the facts of the case. So what do you do when you have a client who's headstrong?
Listen, I'm not sure the headstrong part is the most important one. What I think for sure is that the English judges did not at all appreciate him skipping bail. We must remember that Assange has already faced an extradition process in the UK, which he lost. It was first instance Court of Appeal confirmed by Supreme Court, and that was the extradition to Sweden for the rape case. And when the Supreme Court finally granted extradition, this is when Assange went to the embassy and skipped bail in the UK. And then he was sentenced for that in the UK before getting the extradition request from the US we're talking about now. And I do think that the English judges and courts maybe have not completely forgotten that episode.
Criminal lawyer William Julié, many thanks for being with us here on France 24.
Thanks for having me again.